Unfortunately for the grove, Meg was also the daughter of Demeter. The trees responded to her power. The twin oaks rumbled. Their trunks began to move. I wanted to stop, but I was caught up in the momentum. The grove seemed to be drawing on my power now. My hands stuck to the trees. The gates opened wider, forcibly spreading my arms. For a terrifying moment, I thought the trees might keep moving and rip me limb from limb. Then they stopped. The roots settled. The bark cooled and released me. I stumbled back, exhausted. Meg remained transfixed in the newly opened gateway. On the other side were, well, more trees. Despite the winter cold, the young oaks rose tall and green, growing in concentric circles around a slightly larger specimen in the center. Littering the ground were acorns glowing with a faint amber light. Around the grove stood a protective wall of trees, even more formidable than the ones in the antechamber. Above, another tightly woven dome of branches guarded the place from aerial intruders. Before I could warn her, Meg stepped across the threshold. The voices exploded. Imagine 40 nail guns firing into your brain from all directions at once. The words were babble, but they tore at my sanity, demanding my attention. I covered my ears. The noise just got louder and more persistent. Peaches clawed frantically at the dirt, trying to bury his head. Vince and Gary writhed on the ground. Even the unconscious demigods thrashed and moaned on their stakes. Nero reeled, his hand raised as if to block an intense light. "Meg, control the voices. Do it now." Meg didn't appear hurt by the noise, but she looked bewildered. "They're saying something." She swept her hands through the air, pulling at invisible threads to untangle the pandemonium. "They're agitated. I can't. Wait." Suddenly the voices shut off, as if they made their points. Meg turned towards Nero, her eyes wide. "It's true. The trees told me you mean to burn them." The Germani groaned, half unconscious on the ground. Nero recovered more quickly. He raised a finger, admonishing, guiding. "Listen to me, Meg. I'd hoped the grove could be useful, but obviously it is fractured and confused. You can't believe what it says. It's the mouthpiece of a senile Titan queen. The grove must be raised. It's the only way, Meg. You understand that, don't you?" He kicked Gary over onto his back and rifled through the bodyguard's pouches. Then Nero stood triumphantly, holding a box of matches. "After the fire we will rebuild," he said. "It will be glorious." Meg stared at him, as if noticing his horrendous neckbeard for the first time. What are you talking about?" "He's gonna burn and level Long Island," I said. "Then he'll make it his private domain, just like he did with Rome." Nero laughed in exasperation. "Long Island is a mess anyway. No one will miss it. My new imperial complex will extend from Manhattan to Montauk, the greatest palace ever built. We'll have private rivers, lakes, 100 miles of beachfront property, gardens big enough for their own zip codes. I'll build each member of my household a private skyscraper. Oh, Meg, imagine the parties we'll have in our new Dominus Aurea." The truth was a heavy thing. Meg's knees buckled under its weight. "You can't." Her voice shook. "The woods! I'm the daughter of Demeter." "You're my daughter," Nero corrected, "and I care for you deeply, which is why you need to move aside quickly." He set a match to the striking surface of the box. "As soon as I light these stakes, our human torches will send a wave of fire straight through that gateway. Nothing will be able to stop it. The entire forest will burn." "Please!" Meg cried. "Come along, dearest." Nero's frown hardened. "Apollo is of no more use to us anymore. You don't want to wake the beast, do you?" He lit his match and stepped towards the nearest stake, where my son Austin was bound.